Hello and welcome to the iWealth podcast. Me and Mr. iWealth himself, Brad Connors, are talking about stats today.
Yeah, numbers.
And 80% of mutual funds are held in IRAs.
Yeah.
Crazy.
It is crazy.
Is it true?
Yeah, well, they say it's true.
It's a stat.
I mean, you look it up, it's a stat. It's so interesting. Like it took me back when I heard it, because I haven't heard that for quite a while. I don't know if I've ever heard it, but I was at a meeting recently, and they made that comment, 80% IRAs. I'm like, well, what's the ramification? Like when you think through that, what's that really mean? I mean, it means that a lot of people are putting money away at work.
Yep.
And a lot of people are putting it in tax deferred accounts, not Roth IRAs. These are like tax deferred. So at some point they're going to have to pay taxes on all that money that's there. But 80% is a big deal. Like, would you have thought that? Like when you think about your own situation or a friend's situation, is 80% of their net worth tied up in their IRA when it comes to investments? Maybe,
yeah.
Right?
And the interesting thing is sometimes if it's there, people are like out of sight and out of mind, and they never touch it or think about it, or, you know, if it's that much of it, it means that much of it is not being thought about for the most part.
Yeah. I mean, if you're sitting at home, just think about it. It's like, so you got $1 million saved. Where is it? Is it in taxable accounts or is it in pre-tax dollars?
Yeah.
And maybe they're right. Maybe 800 of that's in your 401ks between you and your wife, and 200's in like after-tax mutual funds or something like that. Yeah. It's just interesting. But here's the hidden trap with 80% being IRAs. When it comes to managing money in a mutual fund, that mutual fund manager is managing it for the masses. So you take your $100,000, I take my 100, Steve takes his 100, Phil takes his 100, like we all put it in XYZ mutual fund. That mutual fund manager needs to perform. He needs to buy stocks, sell stocks, needs to perform whatever index he's up against, okay? What people fail to think about is taxes. Mm-hmm. When that mutual fund manager sells a stock for a gain and buys another one, it's a capital gain. Yep. And then at the end of the year, it kicks out capital gains. Yep. And then you go to your tax accountant and you get your 1099 and you're going to pay taxes on the capital gains. Now, you'd rather pay capital gains than ordinary income, but you're still paying taxes on it. What's interesting when I heard this, where my head went, is this. If I'm the mutual fund manager and I have your money sitting in front of me and I have a mandate to beat my benchmark or to be a percentage of the benchmark, I could give 2 cents about taxes. Yep. I don't care. You know why? 80% of the money I'm managing is in an IRA anyway. Yep. So if I sell this stock for a gain and it pays out a capital gain, it's your IRA, I don't care, because you don't care. Yep. But if you're the 20% that's not in an IRA, you're getting kicked to 1099 with capital gains. There's been years, Matt, where my clients have had a 1099, they paid capital gains, but the value of their mutual fund was less. They had 10 grand in a mutual fund, had $1,000, let's say, of capital gains that they had to pay taxes on, and on their statement, it's worth $9,600. Wow. Because the manager sold stocks, took gains, moved stuff around, but still lost for the year. Talk about painful.
Totally.
Right? And so I think where people are, the disconnect is, if you're managing money in an after-tax account, meaning you're paying taxes as you go, you need to pay attention to taxes, period. Yep. And there's different investment solutions out there that do that. Does it make sense? Like,
it does.
As I'm bringing this up?
Yep. Yeah, the manager doesn't have a vested interest in understanding the taxes. It's what's happening on an individual level, because they're managing it on a macro level, and there's a disconnect between those two. That's what you're talking about.
100% disconnect. Don't care about your after-tax money. So then what should you do? How do you solve this problem? Well, there's separate account managers that you can invest money into, and they're going to buy you your own individual stocks and bonds that carry your own individual cost basis.
Yep.
They're not vested anymore to have to sell things in order just to rebalance and move stuff around. They're going to continue to own that stock, but they're also managers that will pay attention to your tax situation. So you can hire an outside firm that gets to the end of the year and says, listen, I just looked at, Steve's account, and Steve's got $27,000 of capital gain. But I have this stock over here in Pepsi that's got a $30,000 loss. I'm going to sell that to offset that gain, and then we're just going to buy Coke. So we're going to stay in the market, but we're going to manage for taxes. Mm-hmm. It's just a different way to manage money, and a much better way to manage money in my mind, versus just putting your money. So nothing wrong with Dave Ramsey. He's helped thousands of people. I love his envelope idea. I love staying out of debt idea, all that kind of stuff. But for him, he can't just say, buy this manager because they do what I just got done saying. So he's got to buy this ETF or buy this mutual fund or something, or encourage people to do that. I just think you get to a point in life where the level of sophistication of your investments, like the level of wealth, gets to a point where you're like, I need to do this differently. Yeah. I need to think about it differently and stop being away from the averages with the manager that's just going to sell stuff.
Interesting.
Make sense?
Yep. And a lot of that is kind of what you're doing for people, like on a daily basis.
Yes. Yeah. But what's interesting is we have managers we outsource that to. Okay. I'm not trying to be the smartest guy in the room saying I'll put together your stock portfolio. We're going to hire the right managers. But then when you look at your after-tax rate of return, it shouldn't be just, hey, I did 12% this year. It should be, I did 12% and my taxes were X and now it's really only 9%. Mm-hmm. Or did I really get my 12 because I didn't get it? I didn't have to pay capital gains taxes because they offset it. Mm-hmm. Like it's really an after-tax net rate of return you should be looking at in your portfolios, and not just the top-line number. But the top-line number is all the mutual fund manager cares about. That's how he's getting incentivized. So I think people just need to wake up to the fact. So when I heard this 80%, I'm like, that's interesting. Okay, makes sense. A lot of people have money in their IRAs and 401ks. But then how does that apply to somebody that has money that's not in one of those? Yep. Yeah, you need to find a manager that's going to pay attention to taxes. That's the bottom line.
The 20%.
Yeah. Yeah.
Very cool. Anything else?
Nope.
Going once. All right. See you back here next time.
All right. Thanks, Matt.